after the update a few days ago, the frame rate was reading double, exactly double what Steam was saying. I was able to record the Steam frame rates per second in the bottom left corner, whilst I had the metrics overlay in the bottom right corner. In those videos, you'll see that the Steam site is reading like 80 frames per second, and at the same time the software Adrenalin metrics overlay frames per second is reading like 180 frames per second. Or 160 frames per second. Take that back. It's exactly double through the video. You'll see that. The only way I was able to correct it was through a factory reset. I had multiple problems come up during the process of trying to figure out why it was like that, and trying to create a video to share about the extraordinary frame rates I was getting compared to Steam's readings. And now I'm going to play the video. I'm going to fast forward through some of it. The computer, other than install this update to the AMD software Adrenalin edition. That's correct. I hadn't installed anything else, nothing new on the system other than
and it is still doing
AMD Adrenalin.
So that's a good thing. I'm going to run for a while, but if you look down
Let me lift my mouse up so you can see.
Left side of the screen is the Steam frames per second. On the right side of the screen is the software
AMD Adrenalin.
AMD performance recommended software for the GPU. And you can see that it's reading at a minimum. If I compare the numbers, it is double. Exactly double what Steam shows. And it's only been doing that since the update to that software.
That's correct.
And in my mind, it's telling me that they are really fucking with us. They're selling
incorrect.
a product that is lying to the users.
This is
and I will
unneeded talk, but actually it
on some other
points out I'm a suspicious person, and that I contradict myself a bit, and I resolve my own issues.
I haven't actually had anything running side by side. I'll see if I can get that to do that.
By trial and error for the most part. But there is an issue
the reason it concerns me
somewhere with the Adrenalin products update installed to this new update.
I pressed Alt-R, it's supposed to open up the software, and it closed out days but did not open the software. I had to press it again now. But what it's supposed to, or what it does, is here it keeps track of the frames per second in game. It's saying performance grade excellent, 95th percentile.
And doubling it,
it's also keeping an
doubling what it says that what Steam says. It's like wow, they're really lying to us. Because here you see it is doubled.
They even actually went away and came back. But you can see in game, 84 frames per second. I'll just say 80 frames per second is being recorded by Steam, reported by Steam, and it's 160 frames per second by the software that I'm using, that was recommended by the GPU company.
Trouble with remembering names. The AMD Adrenalin.
I went through this already on a couple other videos, and when I went back to edit the video and send it to them, the videos didn't have it in there, and I was like freaked for a second. And
the metrics overlay was missing.
Setting in there that you can shut that off, and I remembered shutting it off so that it didn't show up in my videos and showing what I'm seeing. If I look straight up in the air.
So I wasted like 3 hours of video, but
140 plus frames per second from Steam, and I got 200. I'm not in God mode.
Better protect yourself, buddy. Run. There you go. Capture it
But
before.
if you watch the frames per second, you'll see it's doubled compared to the Steam side.
Before I found a fix for it. I have not verified that fix.
Is the frames per second being so ungodly different between Steam and the Nitro, or not Nitro, the AMD Adrenalin software after the update. Before the update, they read the same. They were identical. So right now, the update is definitely doubling what is actually happening in my eyes, and that's going to contribute to the numbers. I'm going to go ahead and I don't want to die here while I'm doing this.
Video is going to end, and I'm going to open up the next one. Okay, yeah, I can see this is I went ahead. I'm gonna close this out again because I thought being I went to the okay, there's 2 of them there now, 0 there. Okay, when I went to the factory reset, I thought I had lost the video, but I hadn't lost it. It actually placed it in a different folder. I know about the unknown folder, but it didn't go in the unknown. It went into the days folder, and normally it goes into days or the unknown. Yeah, so this was new to me to find this one, and seeing this one now is also new to me. But I'll go ahead and see if it'll open. It took a little bit. The last time.
Stitch them together.
Okay, I'd gone into God mode.
Definitely contribute
and it
to
shut off somehow.
I think it was like 145 or something, but we'll see. I have seen this saying that it was 200 and 300 average, and the way they get that average is by doubling it to get that average to come.
Well, if you don't fix your software,
it's as poor as it is,
or if you don't, if the update isn't corrected, it will record that frames per second, and it's double what the Steam says.
Straight up, anything I'm doing, it's doubling the frames per second. So where it's keeping track.
So
of
if I do that for 3 hours,
the clients
on how many computers, it's going to lie, basically lie about what's going on. I'm gonna fast forward through this. It's a lot of gibberish that don't need to be heard, but if you want the entire bit, I will gladly give it to you.
Get me back where I was. It actually makes it harder once you.
Okay, I'm talking about the. I finally I found where you can change your hotkeys, and it caused some problems for me, and that's because it tabbed me out of the window to the desktop and did nothing. I had to actually open up
and I know it's still recording.
AMD Adrenalin by clicking the icon down here.
Performance grade optimal. Now it's dropped again.
and this dropped
And
rapidly.
you've seen the numbers it was reading in game.
If you go back
that should
in this
actually be
video,
going up
you
because it was
should be
reading
able to
200 and
see
some,
that it was a
pretty
lot
steady
higher.
over 140.
I just want to get to the part where. Okay,
if I can
here we go.
Find it. I'm not. I don't come into this
Factory reset
software
right
other
here.
for recording. So the rest of it basically stays at default. But I know I came in and tried some different.
I figured
settings
before I'd send a video
and,
in, I would check.
Tried to get better.
Well, I just ended up doing everything.
So just make sure.
And for the last step is to perform the factory reset.
I don't want to go to about recording reset game. No, I want factory reset right there.
Yeah, did not want to do that, but this does that anyway. And as soon as I click this, the video ended, and I actually thought it caused it to lose the video, which it didn't. It just misplaced it. To me, now that I know where to look, if something like that was to happen again, I would find it. I did find it. It was just by a fluke. I'll just get the frame readings again.
Alright, hit control.
Come on.
Control Shift E instead.
I just want to see if they're double yet, and they are. They're still double.
And they did. They made it a 3, and now I know it's still recording. Performance grade optimal. Now it's dropped again.
I think that's the same. But it has dropped from the beginning.
It was reading in game. I mean, that should actually be going up because it was reading 200 and some, pretty steady over 140. So that's wrong.
And by rates it is because it's well, actually it might be right because Steam was reading like 80 frames per second, so it would drop. But the overlay, the metrics overlay, was reading double. So there might not be any glitch or.
This software other than for recording.
Oh, let's see, no selling error in there.
Stays at default, but I know I came in and tried some different settings. And
so it's keeping track of the frame rates correctly, but it's reporting them to the user in game incorrectly.
I don't want to go to about recording.
But it's keeping it correct in the software, telling you your average frames per second. So that sounds correct. And this is where it ends. Okay, this is after the reset. After the reset, when you do the reset, it gives you the messages and then sets your mic back to the default mic. It doesn't remember the mic that you had it set at. That's not an issue if you have your laptop or your computer set for the default mic as being the one that's connected to the system. Mine's a headset, a Razer, but I also have a better mic that's hooked to the computer that is considered my desktop mic. The other mic is my gaming mic, and that is set to default. So that's why you're not hearing anything in here. I'm just showing that it does keep track of the game time hours, 630 hours, from one point to another. I don't know when that point started. It probably when I uninstalled and reinstalled again. I've done that several times since purchasing the software, or purchasing the product and the software, updating it and such. Yeah, just pointing it out again here. The frame rates got erased. Not a big deal. Running through everything, trying to show, okay, I got it at default. Everything's back at default. I'm saying these are the This is the metric overlay that I use. Just those three: frames per second, CPU temperature, GPU temperature. That's it. It does not remember that either. It throws in some of the other ones by default. It doesn't remember my settings completely. It also defaults the where you want to save your recordings. It defaults it back to drive C. And for recording, that's really bogus because that's where all your games and stuff go, so they play better. The recordings go to a secondary drive, not the main drive. I think that goes for everybody. So that's another setting that should not be changed by a factory reset. The settings should include that. It can remember the 630 hours that I've played. It should remember a little more than what it does. What I'm looking for is the reason that I'm not seeing the metrics in my recordings, and getting that turned on so I could do this video that I'm doing now. Basically, I had to make 3 attempts because I lost the audio. Through the factory reset to actually come up with this. This was after the factory reset. By now you might be able to hear my voice, maybe not. And that's okay if you don't. Probably better off if you don't. But you can see now that the Steam side is reading the same as the AMD Adrenalin metrics overlay is reading, except if you watch close, the metrics overlay through Adrenalin is running behind Steam. If you watch the frames per second on Steam, they will read, and then the frames per second on the metric overlay through Adrenalin catches up. There is milliseconds in between that that I don't understand. Would think that the software for the GPU would be faster than Steam's. That little bit there is something that should be looked into, because I can see it. I can see the difference. It's just milliseconds, but it is milliseconds that it's slower. I'll let it play out a little while so you can actually track it. Oh, the twins! I thought I was seeing double because that guy, I thought, oh, okay, there's 2 of them. And then I go and investigate, and there's not. I'm getting really tired because I've been working at this for a few hours already, and it's late at night. But you keep your eyes on those for a little bit and see which one is catching up to the other one. I'm just running around looking for that other red guy, and he's non-existent. I thought maybe I had actually clipped one of them with one of the first 2 shots at him, and landed in a truck or on top of a truck or something, and I investigate it. I still notice that the Adrenalin metrics overlay is playing catch up to the Steam frames per second, and that should be investigated by some of you pros. I have no idea how to even investigate it, because Steam, I don't even know why it's faster than the software that's made for the product. part of the system. Basically, uh, it should be the other way around, the way I see it. Steam should be catching up. But I think that's I'll be able to edit this video down some, um, I'm sure, and I'll try to get it whittled down, and then I'll post it on YouTube and send a link in or something like that. Um, I don't think there's anything more in the videos that needs to be seen. I think I pretty much touched on everything that needs to be said. The main concern was the overreading, and by watching the videos, I'm seeing that it wasn't doing what I suspected it was doing. I suspected that being the frames per second were double, it was actually making the recorder in the software that's keeping track of the frames per second average read much higher than what it should, and that is a selling thing. That if it would have been my 3 hours of, well, actually 3 days, but I spent 3 hours tonight, or at the beginning of this, 3 hours prior to the videos you watched here and the cuts and stuff in between that got dropped out. I spent 3 hours watching the frames counter, and bitching, complaining, and talking about it. 3 hours of videos that I deleted because the metrics overlay did not show up when I went to watch those videos. And in the videos here, that you'll see that the reason was because I did not, I had the ability for it to be recorded in the videos shut off. I could see it, but the video watchers could not. The people watching the video could not see it. So then I came back in, and I found the settings for it and came back in and just did a little bit of video of being able to compare Steam to the AMD Adrenalin metrics overlay, frames per second counter. So that is the entire problem solved by the factory reset. That fixed it, and then just pointed out that AMD Adrenalin software is a little slower than Steam's, surprisingly. What do you know? I hope that helps somebody somewhere. Me sometime, maybe. Have a good one.